What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Alton Podcast. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday. I'm joined here by my co-host, Austin. How are you doing, my guy?
I'm doing great, man. I got a little confused when you said Friday, but that's our post date.
Exactly.
That makes more sense.
Exactly. But yeah, we're recording this on Wednesday as usual, and we're just going to kick it back and talk to you guys about the stuff we feel we would all be interested in. So, Austin, take it away, my guy.
Okay, today is a very tech-heavy podcast. We've actually only picked tech-based content.
Yes.
A couple things are very rumored.
Yes.
They're on actually the Mac Rumors website.
Mm-hmm.
So, you never know what to see. You hit or miss here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What should we start with, Colton? We have some glasses.
Yeah.
We got some.
Yeah, I think we should start with the rumored
tactical phone.
Apple Glass, because I think that's the most interesting out of everything we have here.
Okay, let's do a little refresher. So,
yeah,
a few years ago, don't recall the exact year. Help me out, Colin. When did Google Glass come out? I was still in high school.
Yeah, dude. Google Glass came out when I was in like junior high.
Yeah, I was still certainly in high school.
Let's put 2012 on it, even though it's probably a year or two before that.
Okay, remember, there's speculation here, just speculating.
Mm-hmm.
So Google Glass came out a while ago. It is strictly for business use.
Yes, now.
It's not a consumer product. Mm-hmm. Yeah, now. Thank you. And it's got some really good specs. It runs on Android Oreo. It's a Qualcomm quad-core 1.7 GHz processor. It's got some good memory storage, 3 gigs. It's got Wi-Fi, the 802.11ac, so the normal general Wi-Fi we see in our computers.
Mm-hmm.
Display is 640 by 360, which, to my understanding, would be a good majority of that glass.
Yeah. I mean, the Google Glass, they have the little projector on it. I'm not sure exactly how it works. If you just look in the little square glass or if it actually projects onto the lens. I would imagine it's on the lens, but I could be wrong. We've never used it. But
I'd love to. Google,
yeah, it'd be pretty interesting. Too bad we can't because it's now enterprise exclusive.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about the rumored Apple Glass is that it doesn't necessarily say it's going to be consumer grade, but because of the rumored price of $499 and prescription lenses being included for extra cost, it's highly likely that it's going to be a consumer product.
Yeah, they're kind of pushing that way. I think it'd be really great to have a product like this on the consumer level.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to rely on a paired iPhone, similar to the Apple Watch, per the article.
Yes.
Gotta clarify that.
Yes, per article. And we are on macrumors.com, by the way, everybody. And if you were curious, these are leaked by John Prosser. And these are alleged details that were supposed to come out at the One More Thing Apple event, which is now postponed for March 2021.
Yeah, which is sad. I was kind of hoping to see what they were going to do because they have the new phone on the horizon as well, which we are also talking about in this video.
Yes.
And I want to see what they're going to do with that. The presentations are always just so good.
Mm-hmm. Can't agree.
They're always well put together. They have the good framework. It's so great. It's like a work of art, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
They aced their presentation classes.
Yeah. And I also wanted to bring up the one part about the supposed alleged early prototype featuring the LiDAR and wireless charging, but Austin's going to talk about the LiDAR a little bit because he actually knew what it was before I had to Google search it. So Austin, if you can explain to the people what LiDAR is.
Okay, so per Google, LiDAR stands for light detection and ranging. It's a remote sensing method that uses light in the form of a pulsed laser to measure the range. So, what's a good way to put all that together, Colton? Let's see here. Basically, when you see the pictures on Google, it reminds me a little bit of infrared.
Okay.
Not quite the same, but I clicked on a picture here. It shows that it uses a different color light signal to show the depth.
Okay.
So you got the red up close, yellow, green, going down to blue. You got a light yellow in the back. It seems to be how it detects the technology.
Okay. Okay. And that's the one thing that's interesting about these types of products is that they're so new still, and even at the enterprise level, I would imagine there's a lot of not necessarily proprietary stuff going on, but it's more enterprise focused, which makes it, I guess, easier to tailor things to. But in the consumer market, yeah, there's things you can tailor to, but it'd be really interesting to see what this technology is going to be capable of. And the crazy part is that if they were already going to have announced this, it means that it's like ready for launch, which is crazy.
Yeah. It's nuts.
So, talking current day, we're talking about 8 years, maybe longer, after Google Glass initially was announced to the market. And I don't know, let's be honest, Google Glass completely flopped when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
But
the price point was too high.
Yes, and it was still an interesting space that nobody probably really understood yet. It was a cool idea. I completely understand why they went enterprise route only, but from a consumer standpoint, it really didn't make sense to buy it. Like, the only relevant thing would have maybe been music listening, if that was even a thing at the time, and using Google Maps. But, for the time that it was, smartphone technology wasn't even that advanced yet. So I think it was too early for its time, but now that it's gone enterprise, they've probably worked with it a lot, and now that Apple is trying to get into this game, especially with AR and VR becoming super hyped the past few years, I think this is going to be very interesting, especially with such a compelling price point.
Yeah, and fun fact for you, Colton.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you think uses LiDAR technology?
Sorry?
What else do you think uses the LiDAR technology?
What else do I think uses it?
Take a guess, man. You got this. You know it.
Yeah, I know it? What?
Oh, yeah.
Tesla cameras.
Tesla self-driving cars.
There you go.
Just the self-driving technology is engineered through this.
Okay. So, that's interesting how you bring that up. Because Tesla is already known for great software in that type of space. Which means, down to a consumer model, they can do some crazy stuff with these glasses.
Yep. I would say that the technology, and again, I don't know the specs, I don't know exactly if there's a certain power that you have to control a Tesla car with LiDAR versus the glasses you're going to have, because you wouldn't need that level of tech for your glasses.
Exactly. And
but then what's the goal of it?
The goal of Google Glass?
The goal of LiDAR within Google Glass.
Oh, other than an AR, VR experience, I don't know, it's hard to say, because you how on Amazon where you can, quote, view the product in your room?
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe something like that, but with the glasses. But other than that, I really don't see there being an actual reason for it. I don't know. And then, like I said, with Google Glass, they had the maps capability, so I could see that still. But other than that, I really don't understand what they would do visually with it. But, I mean, it's not going to be for everybody, because it's definitely going to be a very, very niche market, especially at a consumer level. So, I don't know. It really depends on what people do with it. I mean, take Snapchat spectacles, for example, right? You took pictures and videos with it. They posted as the circle crop. And that was it. But it was cool. And people appreciated it when it was in its prime time. But it's not really in a prime time anymore. It was really only a thing for that summer. You know what I mean? Back in 2017, maybe it was. But it was cool. And I mean, that's all that matters, is it going to be compelling enough for people to buy? Especially, like I said, for a price of $4.99.
Yeah. And it just got to last a little while. It's got to have enough hype to make a second gen.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, Colton.
Mm-hmm.
You know, me and you, we use the same phone.
Mm-hmm.
We're both Samsung guys.
Yes.
Would you switch to iPhone
No.
to use this if it was a amazing product, if it did everything and more that you would want?
No. No. As much as I would want them, if they do turn out to be great, I am not switching to an iPhone because the software, to my personal preference, is just too limiting for me. Android is just supreme for me compared to iOS. For all you listening, I'm sorry to say, iOS, personally, to me, trash.
Trash.
I'm sorry.
Calling you guys out.
I'm sorry. No, I'm calling Apple out. But it's the same reason why I'm PC over Mac. I mean, there's just less limitations when it comes to security and certain protocols, because I mean, you know what I mean, and I'm sure the people listening know what I mean. Now, Austin, let me flip it back to you, my guy. Would you, and like I said, especially for a very compelling price of $4.99, let's be realistic, that's cheap for a pair of tech glasses. If they were to your liking and you wanted them super bad, would you switch to iOS?
You know, if they were, to take Colton's word from the last series of podcasts, if they were impeccable.
Oof.
I mean, to a T, they had everything that I could dream of wanting. And more. And if they did a bundle with the glasses
Interesting.
and the watch,
Okay.
I'd think about it.
You would think about it.
I would think about it. Now, I don't know if I'd actually convert. I don't know if I'd sin.
I like what you did there.
But maybe, I mean, because I like the Apple Watches. To me, they have the watch market beat. But I love my Samsung phone.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this. Like AirPods, would you get Apple Glass if they were insanely cool, and they were, like I said, like AirPods, where you can use them on Android, but certain features are limited?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. I think I would also do the same thing, to be honest with you.
Even if they told me that I have half the features, if those features were key enough to my use, I would certainly do it. I think it's bad to make any product proprietary to one specific software.
Yeah. Apple.
It just causes you lose a market share.
Fair enough.
So if they would make this compatible with Android, even to a minute degree, as well as iOS, I think that'd be huge.
Yeah. And I think it obviously comes down to what are they going to offer. Because, Google Glass, they had some interesting stuff, but it wasn't really for the consumer market. And now that music streaming is a huge thing, wireless accessories are a huge thing, like Apple Watches and stuff like that. And it's really going to come down to the core features. And it's kind of hard to say what those core features are going to be, because the only mainstream competitor out there is so old and not even a consumer product anymore.
Exactly. And that product has very good features. I mean, going down the list, they're at Bluetooth 5.0. They have, what was at the bottom?
Are you talking about Google Glass?
Yes, they have a USB-C.
Yeah. I actually made a YouTube video about this when they went enterprise. And for anybody curious, and there was a specific stat in my video where there was a person working on a server rack, right? and they did the work with the manual, like just the manual, no glasses, and then they did the same work with the manual on the Google glasses, and the result turned out that the worker did the work 30% quicker with the glasses than without the glasses. So, it really depends on what you're using these for, but they can honestly be a real game changer in certain aspects.
Absolutely. Now, I have another good question here for you, or I think it's a good question.
Okay.
What do you think they're going to do with returns on prescription Apple Glass?
So, this is interesting because Google Glass does not have this, or at least they didn't on the consumer level, because there was actually no lenses. If you remember, it was just the nose piece with, well, actually there were some with actual frames, but they were plastic lenses. So, but with prescription lens changes,
That's going to be hard.
I'm sure they're going to have, well, it's hard to say because there's some glasses websites to where you can send them your prescription and they'll send you the glasses. So you don't even have to go to an eye doctor, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine Apple's going to go down that route. So really only people with, some minor reading or distance vision are probably going to use the prescription models. But, for people that are like disgustingly nearsighted like me, it's hard to say. Because people also wear contacts, and then you can wear contacts with a regular Google Glass, We're also speculating that there is going to be a version, or there's going to be not a version without lenses. So there's also that regard we're keeping up in the air here. But like I said, this stuff is all rumored. But considering when the announcement was supposed to happen, these these speculations are probably more fact than fiction.
We hope. I hope.
So we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, I hope that, with this being a market, and if this all comes to light and becomes true and not fiction, we can expect to see, potentially, Apple stands at eye doctors' offices.
Oh, yeah. That'll definitely happen.
And that'll be very interesting.
Yeah. If they get to be of that value, not only will the price probably go up, but yeah, they'll definitely show up at eye doctors.
But, so at that point, you're selling a piece of technology.
Yes.
Which means you need staff that understands that technology.
Yes. It's just another worker. Or maybe, just some videos sent to the eye doctor. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see, yeah. It's going to be good. I like it.
Yeah.
I do like it.
And we'll also see, a little segue here, what the iPhone 12 is going to look like. So, we had some leaked renders from, I guess Unbox Therapy would call respected leakers. And long story short, and you guys can go watch this video on Unbox Therapy's YouTube channel. It's called This is the iPhone 12. It seems like they're going for a more squared off boxy look again, similar to the iPhone SE, the first generation, not the new one. And it is reminiscent of the old days. And Unbox Therapy made a very interesting point in this video. He said that the first iPhone was actually curved, and not until generations like 4 and 6 or 4 and 5 did it start to square off. And if you know, the iPhone 5 SE is the most sold iPhone of all time. So, Unbox Therapy's point was they're kind of going back to maybe the shape that sold the phone in that regard.
Yeah, it's funny you say that too, because Nathan
Yes.
does not like the square iPhone.
Okay.
And he's been an iPhone user for pretty much forever.
Yeah.
And, I'm looking at some renders right now and looking at what they have. My video here looks like Everything Apple Pro YouTube channel.
Okay.
He put a 12-minute video out, showed some really good potential rendering images. It looks like a very nice phone. To my understanding, there was no specs actually released yet.
No, it's just the model.
It's just a model, yeah.
Yeah.
However, looking at the model, I see USB-C, my guy.
Do you really?
I think I see USB-C. Double check me.
I mean, I'm trying to find a good render of the bottom there.
Scroll down on MacRumors.com.
Okay, hold on. I'm actually
Go
on
up-
Unbox Therapy's video.
Okay.
So, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I see kind of something. I don't know. It's hard to say because the port is like the same shape between USB-C and Lightning.
The Lightning.
I doubt it's going to happen. Do I hope it's going to happen? Yes. I mean,
I would be more likely to buy an iPhone if it happened.
Ooh, very interesting. I mean, it is a selling point for some people. Because if you own an iPhone, but you don't own any other Apple products, you have USB-C. And then you got two cables versus one. I'm not saying it's an inconvenience, but it's just an extra thing that could not be there if Apple decided to follow a common trend.
Yeah. And, again, without seeing a lot of specs, we don't want to speculate too much as to what it could and could not have. But I think one good assumption, one safe assumption would be that's going to have 5G.
I'm not... 5G is still such a new thing. Because even Samsung, with their last release, they still had the regular phones without 5G, and then they had the one with 5G. So, I mean, that's going to be hard to say. I wouldn't doubt it, though, if they had a specific model just with 5G, but I don't think the whole line is going to be 5G, is what I'm saying.
I think they'll do that route, because like you said, a lot of networks don't support the 5G yet.
Yeah.
They do have speculated pricing, which I'm not sure where they're pulling this from or where they maybe got this information. They say the 5.4-inch iPhone 12 is going to be $649.
Oh.
The 6.1-inch iPhone is going to be $749.
Interesting.
The 6.1-inch iPhone 12 Pro will be $999, and the 6.7 Big Boy Pro Max is going to be $1099.
That is ridiculously cheap. Do you think they're backtracking simply because of recent hype around the iPhone SE 2.0?
I would say so. I mean, that price point is fantastic. You look at a phone now and you kind of expect to spend about $600.
Yeah, I would expect to pay way more, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I mean, like $600, people don't shy away from that number anymore.
Right.
And I feel like in the early market, they certainly did. But now, I mean, you look at $800, $900 on a phone over 2 years, you go, okay. It's a good phone. I'll do it.
Yeah. And
so, I mean, even $1,100 for the Pro Max.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that bad at all. Granted, I got my S10 for a ridiculous discount, but if I would have bought it full price, it would have been $1,000. And it's just the regular S10. It's not even the Plus. But yeah, interesting prices. And what source do you have those from?
The same source, MacRumors.com.
Oh, okay, interesting. Reputable.
You just got a scroll a fuck ton.
Oh, got it. So I also wanted to mention the display here. And again, assuming these renders are true, that notch is shorter and narrower, but it's still like the full notch on top. It's not really like a teardrop. It's still like the rectangle. But it is a little bit teardrop-esque on the curves. It's not necessarily just like a U. It's more like a fancy you. I don't know what you want to call it. You guys will know what I mean if you guys go look on Unbox Therapy. And also, the thing I'm noticing the most on the display is that bezel, does it look bigger? The outline bezel.
Tell. That's a good... I can't tell if it's thicker or not.
You know what it might be? It might be the same size bezel, but it appears bigger because it's not waterfalling off the edges.
Okay.
Because it's a squared off phone now. It's not curved anymore. I think that's probably a safe assumption. Because just like the new S's, the Galaxy S's, they do seem a little bit bigger, but I'm looking at my S10 right now, and there's no side bezels, and it's simply because it's waterfalling off the edge. So,
okay.
I don't know. Take that as what you guys will. Again, you guys can go to Mac Rumors or Unbox Therapy's YouTube channel to see all these renders. But yeah, just in general, just speaking on form factor, Austin, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but do you think this is a good play for Apple?
Yeah, I think so. I would like to see the official renders, because, again, in this article, in Mac Rumors, I don't know much about their past credibility.
They're pretty credible.
Pretty credible?
Yeah.
There is a couple hit or miss typos here and there, and that always kind of makes me a little gun shy.
Wait, they have typos?
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
And that happens. I'm sure they slapped this article out as fast as they possibly could.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it's a pretty beefy article, too. But I think it's nice to kind of reducing the bezel, the outer edge.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, so I feel like in later phones we're going to see a no outer edge phone.
Yeah.
Kind of like the monitors we have today.
I mean, technically we've already gotten it, but with the waterfall edges. But yeah. I guess we'll see how quick they do it with the non-waterfall edges. Because on my S10, there's still a forehead and a chin. That's noticeably big. So,
yes.
Well, not big, but compared to the side bezels, which is virtually zero. It'd be interesting to see what they do here.
Yeah, and the price point, I think, is the best play they have. I've always thought Apple phones were a little bit too expensive.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen a lineup of prices like that in, 4 or 5 years.
And while they're speculated, with the SE launching, and I'm sure the SE did phenomenal.
I'm sure.
I haven't seen any phones yet, but
right.
I'm confident it did well, so I'm sure these will do well, too.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see those statistics on the SE. I'm sure there's metrics somewhere, considering the pre-orders were 3 weeks ago now. That was a long time ago. Yeah, maybe we'll look into that and update you guys next time on that.
Yeah, and, he mentioned statistics, and so I want to segue.
Ooh.
I love that word. Segue is a phenomenal word.
I like that word. It's a good word.
It's a phenomenal word. But we're going to transition over to the tactical Galaxy S20.
Ooh. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got a lot of interesting features and a very interesting market. So, Colton, you gotta start it off. You have to.
Do I have to start it off? Okay.
You have to.
So, Samsung. I'm not going to say they partnered with the U.S. military, but they have designed an S20 Tactical Edition for the U.S. military. And, it has the regular specs of a Galaxy S20, just to go over that real quick. 6.2-inch display, 1440 pixel display, Snapdragon 865 processor, 12 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabytes of expandable storage, and a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. And then they slapped it in this very robust case. Let's see, what is this made out of? Does it say the material it's made out of, Austin?
This is a very short article on Engadget that we have here, and this is the best article we saw for this. And they don't really go much past the phone specific. stats.
Yeah.
And I think that's because they mentioned that this phone is encrypted with 2 different layers of encryption
Yeah.
security. And that's because the idea is to be able to have top secret data within this phone.
Right.
So I don't think they want to give away the outside material.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe to make it, a little harder to break in if they don't know what they're working with kind of thing. I don't know for sure.
Right. And
I mean, it looks like an OtterBox on steroids.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it, it looks like it's a rubber case inside of a plastic or maybe even metal case. I wouldn't be surprised if it was metal, especially considering how massive that hinge is.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah. So if you guys head over to Engadget.com and look this up, the title of the article is called Samsung Made a Galaxy S20 Tactical Edition for the Military. It's a super robust looking phone. It's, case, I must say. But the phone inside does have different encryptions than a regular S20 simply because it's for the U.S. military. But yeah, it's just something super cool to look at because it's not something you really see. And actually, going back to the U.S. military thing, if I'm not mistaken, I think Google Glass had an enterprise project with the U.S. military, if I remember that correctly. Just a slight little revert back to Google Glass there. But yeah, it's super interesting. I mean, yeah, it's super interesting.
So what do you think about this approach? Do you think it's good? Is it bad?
So it's obviously one of the best phones on the market, especially in terms of battery life for the specs. And I feel like battery life is a huge deal when it comes to, military missions and stuff like that. Because, I mean, you don't know how long you're going to be out there, maybe. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense that a big battery is pretty good. But other than that, I think it's super interesting how Samsung added the 2 new levels of encryption and security. I've never heard of a phone company doing that ever. So I think that is super cool. I'm sure they partnered with the U.S. government to, make that software. But yeah, I mean, the phone itself is awesome. Not only is it one of the best powerhouse phones on the market, but it has the new security in it, which makes it even cooler, which is a great play for the government. And the case alone looks awesome. I'm not sure what the black layer is on the inside. Maybe you can actually lock this phone with this case, which makes me think it's made out of metal. So maybe not only do they have 2 levels of software security, maybe they also have hardware security for locking this case, which makes it even more badass.
Yeah, this phone, I love it.
Yeah.
It looks amazing. It's a beast of a phone. Personal, as a lefty, that hinge is going to drive me fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I couldn't get my hand around that. There is no way. But that's okay.
I'm sure, I mean, if they're working with the government, I'm sure they made left and right hand cases. I'm sure the government got what they wanted.
Maybe. But the concerning part to me with this phone is everything's hackable.
Fair enough.
That's always in my head. You can hack anything. You can put 17 layers of encryption on it. If someone really wants in and really knows their skills, they can get in.
Yeah.
They may get caught while getting in, but they can get in.
Right.
And before, top secret data, unless it was on a laptop, you have to get into the building, you have to do a whole bunch of extra stuff to get the data. But if you put it on a phone, any fallen soldier that had this phone and had that data on them, it can be easily picked up, brought back to their base, but we have a harder time getting it.
Fair enough. But there could
And
also be a
hacked
kill
in.
switch on
There's
the U.S.
probably
side.
a kill switch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's got to be a kill switch. But if they could find a way to stop that kill switch,
Fair
I
enough.
don't know. It's sketchy, man. It makes me nervous.
Let's be realistic. Anything about the U.S. military is kind of sketchy when you don't know anything about it.
That's fair. And, well, I think it's important they have a solid device to do everything. I don't know. I don't know. I could see this technology biting us in the butt, man. I really can.
So, the more I think about it, to my knowledge, before this article, I thought the government made their own phones and devices.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know they sourced out mainstream companies to do it.
Yeah, I haven't looked too much into that side of I guess we'll say the market.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about searching that before. I'm kind of curious now.
Yeah.
But they have to get their stuff from somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So I wonder what they do and if, they do use some of the common companies that we use today.
Mm-hmm.
But now we know they're going to use the Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
And we know there's a potential this phone is going to be that Samsung. And it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see 2 or 3 years down the road. Yeah. When this phone's actually out and being used. And we'll see, what it can do. How good this encryption is.
Yeah. The S20.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive me, but let me just look this up real quick. Yeah, the S20, my guy, is already out.
But is this version of it out?
Yeah.
I know the phone's out, but I didn't know if the tactical one's out yet.
The tactical one, that's just for the military.
Well, yeah. But are they releasing it to the soldiers already?
I don't know. It's top secret, man.
What I think would be fun with this kind of phone is to give it to people, the white hats, the hackers for our side, and see if they can get in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they've tested all that, by the way, as well. But yeah, I mean, and to answer your question on if they're available, I'm sure they are, considering there's a picture of one right here. And it makes it seem like they are out because they're saying you can't get one because they're just for the military. So I have a feeling these are out already on the battlefield.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if the government does potentially share with Samsung and then Samsung then releases how they've been. I don't know. I guess we'll see if they get the S21 down the road. We'll see if the U.S. military gets a new one. I don't know.
Let's see here. Just kind of running it down.
So while Austin's doing that, I just want to remind everybody that you can find the Alton Podcast on all major streaming platforms, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. I think it's called Overcast. We're on Pocket Cast as well. We're on everything. We are available everywhere, and you can find your favorite streaming platform at altonpodcast.com. You can also find our Twitter and Discord there as well. It's a good time. Join the podcast. It's good. Yeah, we're focused on community, right? We love you guys. But yeah, throw a comment in there if you guys want to, let's get the conversation going.
Yeah, we love the feedback we get from you guys. And we want to grow off of that feedback.
Yes.
That's our number one goal.
Yes.
And going with that, I couldn't find anything else that was pertinent for the S20 Tactical. I was kind of hoping to see a sentence somewhere saying, these are used now in our drills or something like that. I had no such luck.
Got it.
So, next topic, and our final topic for this podcast, is all about the Walmart-made tablet. And I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm going to say the new Tablet Pro. Is that correct, Colton?
I guess. Yeah. How else would you say it? Yeah. If anyone's curious, the On is spelled ONN. We are assuming it's Walmart's personal technology brand. We could be wrong, but that's our assumption. And, to break it down quickly for you, Walmart's new tablet is starting at $99. It runs Android 10. It has USB-C. Comes in an 8-inch and a 10.1-inch model. 8-inch variant, like I said, $99, has HD LCD display, 32 gigs of storage, 2 gigs of RAM, 2.0 gigahertz octa-core processor, and a 5 megapixel camera. 5 megapixel cameras, plural, located on the front and back of the device. And the 10.1 inch display or model starts at $129, has 1080p display, 3 gigs of RAM, and a headphone jack. And it will retain the same processor, storage, and cameras as the 8-inch model. So what do you think, Austin?
For the price point, it sounds very good. I'm looking at other tablets on Amazon, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Amazon, I really hate seeing the whole pay X amount a month with 0 interest thing. Because it just makes me want to buy their entire store.
Me and Best Buy. I already have a credit card with Best Buy. It's terrible.
So it looks like here with this, I've put up a Samsung Galaxy Tab A.
Okay.
It's an 8-inch tablet, and it was released in 2019.
Okay.
This is a factory unlocked tablet.
Oh.
And it's priced at $170. $169.
Wow. Do we have specs?
We have some specs here. So, the resolution's 1280 by 800.
Okay.
With a 16 million color depth and a 5100 battery.
Oh, they listed the battery. I don't think Walmart listed theirs. That's interesting. Okay. Carry on.
The RAM is only 2 gigs.
Okay.
The random access memory, the ROM is 32
Okay.
gigs. The micro SD is up to 512.
Okay.
And it uses the Qualcomm Snapdragon 429
Okay.
with an Android 9 that's on the Pi.
Okay.
And a quad-core 2 gigahertz processor. It's the Cortex A53.
Mm-hmm.
What was Walmart's camera again? Or cameras?
It just says 5 megapixel camera on this article from The Verge.
Okay, so this one does support a 8 megapixel rear camera and a 2 megapixel front with dual speakers, 4.2 Bluetooth, and a USB 2.0 switch.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's nice.
So yeah, just real quick, I pulled up the Walmart sheet, and they list their battery as 10-hour battery life. So they're going the Apple route when it comes to listing their battery.
I wonder if I can get a battery life on this article. Hold on. Let's see here.
But while you're trying to find that, I think the specs are kind of similar. Maybe the Walmart one is a little bit better, especially when we're talking about the cameras and the display resolution. But at the end of the day, I think Walmart would take the cake simply because it's $80 cheaper.
Oh yeah, I think the price is huge.
Yeah.
When you get anything that cheap, even if it's, I don't want to say a lesser product, but even if the specs are a little bit less than what you really think you need,
Right.
you buy it because you save $70
Right.
or $80, $100. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
At that point.
And it's running an Android version above it. Might add that too. That could be a game changer for a lot of people. Android 9 compared to Android 10.
Let's see here.
And while Austin's still looking that up, I might add again that the bigger version is only $30 more than the original version for $129. And it comes with an extra gig of RAM. Now has the 1080p display and the headphone. This article makes it seem like the headphone jack is only on the 10-inch. I could be wrong in saying that. But maybe if you guys are curious, you guys can look into that a little bit more. But I could be wrong. I'm just mentioning it because it states it after the fact. So, but I mean, you get more res, you get another gig, and potentially a headphone jack for only $30 more.
Yeah, it's a product I'd love to try out. When I can get my hands on it, if I had the extra money laying around, I would certainly play with it. I'm not a big tablet person myself.
Same.
I got a Chromebook because it could double as one for those needs. And, looking at this, I pulled up Samsung's website, Galaxy Tab A, and they kind of let me down.
Oh.
Because they didn't list the hours expected on the battery life.
Interesting. Do they list a million hours?
Yeah, it's 5100 still.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we know what 5100 is based on our phones. So
True.
it's pretty
This
big.
is a bigger screen.
Yeah, but it is a bigger screen, but it has less hardware to tend to as well. So,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's good. I mean, we have 10 hours in terms of Walmart. So, I mean, I couldn't see myself spending that long on a phone or a tablet anyway. I'd be on my phone. I think this is going to be more geared towards kids. I mean, because if you're doing work on tablets, you're probably going to go for something more premium, maybe like a Surface from Microsoft, or like an iPad Pro. By the way, slight tangent. Have you seen how big iPad Pros are?
Dude, they're huge.
Dude, they're massive. They're if I'm not mistaken, they're the same size or bigger than my freaking laptop. That's crazy. Man. Anyways.
I really want to know how long this is going to last. I'm stupid curious right now.
How long is the battery?
Oh my god, I want to know.
For what, the Galaxy Tab?
Yeah.
Let me
I'm trying to find reviews on hours and stuff like that.
Galaxy Tab. You said A?
Galaxy Tab A, yep.
Alright, battery life. Quick Google search. It says 10 hours and 30 minutes. In a battery test from mynexttablet.com. mynexttablet.com.
Perfect.
So, same battery life.
And the price is $70-ish more.
Interesting. So,
On the Samsung site, it is priced at... Come on, buy now.
ooh.
My computer doesn't want to work. Oh no. What happened?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Man, Samsung's really giving you the runaround, aren't they?
Yeah, they usually do so good for me.
Man, are we all of a sudden Team Apple?
I know. I think we're going to leave it a mystery. I think we're just going to leave it at that.
Man. So, I mean, so at the end of all that, it seems like the new Walmart On tablet is, pretty compelling with a price point. Like I said, starting at $99, and the next version is $129. I don't think you can really beat that right now in terms of Android tablets.
No, I don't think you can either. The only thing close to that would be the Android Fire. Not the Android, the Amazon Fires.
Yeah, and those are super cheap, but I've used those. My nephew has one, and it locks you into an Amazon ecosystem, which I hate. And B, they're just not that great I mean, let's just look at the specs real quick. Compare them like we just did with the Galaxy Tab. Just do a quick little search here. All right, we got a 7-inch Fire 7 tablet.
That's what I found.
16 gigs of storage, 1 gig of RAM, 1.3 gigahertz processor, 7 hours of battery life, 720p HD display. But it's only $50. So, well, how much is their 32 gig? Because that's what Walmart start at. So 70. Interesting. So it's $20 cheaper. Sorry, $30 cheaper than the Walmart one. But it's also a smaller screen, smaller resolution, less RAM. So it makes sense why it's that much cheaper. So at the end of the day, they're about the same price, realistically. But the screen on the Fire tablet might be a little bit smaller in terms of price if you compare them at their same specs. So, I think that, just speaking out loud, what we just did, Austin, I think it's pretty clear that Apple, that Walmart is the winner in terms of entry-level tablets. What do you think?
I'd have to agree. It's like any technology, you get what you pay for. So if you want a top-of-the-line tablet, you're going to pay a higher price to get that.
Fair enough. Yep.
So Walmart's giving you a very economic,
Yes.
consumer grade tablet with decent specs that hopefully gets very good reviews.
Yeah.
I
And
think it's a fantastic product.
speaking of reviews, they have already been sold on Walmart.com, and there's 14 reviews with over 4-star rating for anybody wondering.
How many reviews total?
14.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
It's not a lot, but the star rating is pretty compelling. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, 14 and you got good reviews. I can't talk. Reviews already?
Yeah. And
That's positive.
I'm also gonna mention that this was just announced like yesterday or the day before, so Monday or Tuesday of the week you guys are listening to this, which means they're almost sold out just in the first day or two, is what I'm trying to get at here on Walmart's website.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, I wish Walmart the best. They seem like they're going down a very good route here. I'd be curious to see if they have these on display at Walmart stores. I'd be really interested to go see how efficient they run. But yeah, I think I mean, do you have any final thoughts on the new Walmart tablet, Austin?
You know, I do, and it's actually the viewer challenge I have in mind here. Ooh. So, as we all know, if you've been following the podcast, is that if we get 5 likes, I believe we decided, or 10 likes, was it 5 or 10?
Okay.
I'm gonna call it 5.
Okay.
Colton has to make the Instagram page. That I won't forget about, Colton.
Okay. Because I know it's hard, I'll give them 5 likes. Okay? 5 likes and I'll
Okay.
make the Instagram account.
Hell yeah. There we go. You guys heard it here.
And let me just say,
keep on them.
if we do make an Instagram account, it will be interactive. There will be polls. There will be videos
yeah.
to watch. There will be everything. I promise. It will be great. It just low-key a lot of work on my part.
However, if we get 25
Oh,
likes in the video, that's a good jump.
interesting.
I will go buy this product.
Ooh.
Give me about a week with it. Let me
Okay.
play with it,
Okay.
and then we'll do a review.
Okay. Interesting. Guys, like
Yeah.
this video. That would be a very interesting podcast. Nice little follow-up show with the budget tablet, the entry-level market tablet. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it'd be very good, and I mean, I might have a hard time finding it by the time this thing gets 25 likes. However,
I mean, maybe not. It's Walmart. Maybe they'll restock it overnight when they get rid of the last 3 on the website right now.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. Actually, you guys will keep us posted on it because you guys are the ones that have to like the videos. So, speaking of things that we like, Austin, what was your favorite song of the past week?
Oh man, you know, I had a hard choice, and I always make the mistake of just looking at New Music Friday and picking it off of there.
Yeah.
But Spotify has that fantastic thing that tailors to you, and it's so great.
For everybody
and I
wondering,
can't
he's talking about
type.
Release Radar.
Yeah, it's so good.
Can confirm, I go
But-
through it every Friday.
Yes. Yeah. I need to start doing that.
You should. It's great.
I have to say, my number one favorite song for this Release Radar and New Music Friday as a whole is Screams by AK.
Ooh.
A little bit biased. Been following AK for a long time, so a little biased.
I mean, who isn't biased about their music choice?
Oh, true. But
Let's be
it's
real
a banger,
here.
man.
Yeah.
It's a banger.
Okay.
And I got to guess.
Ooh, oh yeah, he
Colton's
did say he
favorite.
was going to do this. All right.
So, because I heard the song and I'm thinking, Colton will like this song.
Okay.
Let me see. What song was that? Where is it?
So while Austin's looking for that, before the podcast started, Austin said he was going to guess what he thought my New Music Friday's favorite song was of this past week. I'm very intrigued to hear what he has to say.
So I have 2 guesses,
Okay. Oh,
but I
and
can lump it together.
the other part for everybody listening is that I told him he would not get it.
He did tell me I wouldn't get it, but I know Colton,
Interesting.
so I know he's right. I'm not, this is gonna be the wrong guess. but I know he likes this group.
Okay. Oh, you said group. I already know what he's going to say.
Oh, yeah.
I already know what he's going to say.
Was it a Jonas Brothers song, man?
I did save both of the Jonas Brothers songs. But
that's not your new music Reddit.
it is not my favorite of the week.
Okay, hold on. I gotta go to topics. I gotta find out what it is now. Because he told me he posted it as I was gonna guess, and I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it's,
Oh, yeah, it's a good one. I like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Take it away, Colton.
Okay, so my favorite song of the week, and like I said, I did add both of the Jonas Brothers songs because they're just great. One of them's with Karol G, and it's just incredible song. But my favorite song of the week is Summer Feelings by Lennon Stella and Charlie Puth. And it's simply because it's got that summer vibe to it, you know? It's got kind of the bouncy, like, chords, you know what I mean? It's just a feel-good type of song. And I actually have 2 bonuses for you guys this week. 2 bonus songs because I just have to tell you guys about them. They're not my favorite songs of the week, but the first bonus is called Deep Blue by The Midnight because it came out 2 weeks ago, but I just discovered it in the past few days. And if you guys like saxophones, you guys gotta listen to it. It's incredible. One of the best saxophone songs I've ever heard in my entire life. And the second bonus song. It's a bonus song because it's a meme, but it's actually fire. So, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the YouTuber called Drip Report. He has a song called Skechers. Okay. But what's even funnier is that he just released the remix to Skechers, and it features Tyga. And it's the best meme song I have ever heard. And when I say best, I mean in terms of quality. Like, I actually saved it to listen to it because it's actually that great. And I had Austin listen to it as well. What do you think, Austin? Did you like it?
Yeah, for a song like that, it was actually really good.
I'm saying, exactly. It's great. You guys should listen to it. Drip Report and Tyga Skechers remix. It's crazy. And, you know, slight tangent again. The original meme song is so big, it has over 100 million spins on Spotify.
Jesus Christ.
It's massive. It's so funny. But yeah. So,
okay.
It was funny, Austin.
Are you ready?
You know what that's a good segue into? A random generator topic.
Hell yeah.
Hit us with it, my guy.
And I pulled it up and already started it, so...
Let's go.
It is the oldest store in the U.S.
Oh. It actually says that?
It says oldest store in the U.S.
Okay. Let's go to Google.
Okay. No, what do you think it is? We gotta guess it.
I'm gonna guess. Oldest store in America. Well, you said U.S., right?
Same thing.
Okay, we'll do America because it's...
Oh, I hear typing it. That's not guessing, that's typing.
No. I'm just typing it before I press enter. So I'm going to guess. Man, there's so many mom and pop shops, my guy.
I know, and I'm trying to think, is it like a chain? Like, do we want to say the oldest chain?
Oldest chain, I mean, it's McDonald's, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't
maybe.
know, man.
I'm going to say...
Man.
Oh, damn, it's hard.
It's got to be some mom and pop shop, but I got to go based on what I know. Oldest store in America. Now, to clarify, we're talking about oldest store that's still open, right? Or no?
So I think that's to our
that's what we have to decide? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it just says oldest store in the U.S., so I think we should decide whether it's commercial or not.
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster. Interesting.
Good guess, but I think food places would be older, actually. I mean, naturally, I gotta guess McDonald's.
Yeah, that's what I would have to think, too, because I think they were the first fast food store.
Right.
If I'm going to go with general grocery stores.
Oh, grocery stores.
Oh, I wonder, maybe like shit. I don't know. God, I mean, do you want to say it's like a chain, like a Walmart? It wasn't Walmart, of course,
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to
but
say.
like a Wilco. Do you know what a Wilco is?
No.
Here we have Publix. We had Acosta's up north. Because that also changes by the area you're in. You kind of get monopolized by different grocery stores.
Gotcha.
Let's Google it. Let's do it.
I did Google it. So, from this article on RizNews.com, it says the oldest U.S. retailer is a company called Brooks Brothers. It's a men's clothing company, and they opened in 1818. They currently operate in 210 stores in the U.S. and in over 70 other countries now. Interesting.
Let's see here. So the interesting thing is, the other interesting thing is that there is actually a Brooks Brothers outlet and store within about 15 to 20 minutes of my house.
Interesting.
We have one in Palmetto, which is just up the bridge.
What are the odds?
And we have one just off of 75, looks like about halfway down to Sarasota.
Wow.
So I've never heard of this store before.
Okay.
The first thing I noticed, though, is that there are, on the website, models in masks.
Okay.
Hashtag COVID-19.
Here.
And interesting.
So I just want to go a step further and confirm that Brooks Brothers is indeed the oldest yet still open U.S. company, because Business Insider has also stated that. Okay. I feel like that's a reputable company in terms of business talk.
Absolutely. And let's see, that's the oldest food chain in the U.S. Let's just take it a step further on top of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be some one-off place, right? I don't think it's McDonald's, even though it's probably going to say it is because it's mainstream.
No shit. Okay.
Oh, this should be good.
This is interesting. So I did oldest food chain. I didn't want to do fast food, so that was going to make the search biased.
So just food chain in general? I'm going to guess something one-off like Steak and Shake.
The oldest restaurant chain in the U.S. is known for root beer. A&W began as a walk-up root beer stand in Lodi, California on June 20th, 1919.
Interesting. Founder
Roy W. Allen partnered with his employee Frank Wright, combined their names, and started the first A&W in Sacramento in 1923.
Wow. Interesting.
I would have never guessed root beer.
You know, if you really think about it, A&W does low-key kind of have that old-school vibe.
Oh, yeah, and their stuff is great.
Oh, yeah. Dude, honestly, I haven't been to A&W in ages because they closed down the one by my house years ago now. Kind of sad.
Oh, that's sad.
But they had the best root beer floats, like at minimum. I go, oh my gosh, they're so good. Now I want a root beer float. Podcast is over.
The root beer from the barrel, man.
Yes.
That, you can't beat that. If you guys haven't had that, go find it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in Canada, drive across the border and get it. We have it here somewhere.
Right?
Okay.
Man. And
it might be in Canada. I don't know.
Yeah. And, you know, just to go way further, okay? And I know Austin doesn't like Wikipedia.
I don't like
But
Wikipedia.
I'm on Wikipedia. And
nope.
Listen, the title, List of Oldest Companies in the United States. And the oldest one they have here is from 1613. Company's called Shirley Plantation. And it's a farm out in Virginia. Interesting. A farm.
Okay.
A farm. What do you think about farms, Austin? What's your favorite farm animal?
Farm animal?
Yeah.
It's got to be the cow, man.
Cow, man? All right, I picked the chicken.
Chicken.
Let me ask you another question. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
I don't like this question.
Me neither. That's for another podcast.
I'm gonna say the egg.
The egg. Interesting. Now let me ask you another question. What came first, dinosaurs or the chicken?
Dinosaurs.
Plot twist. What if they were both here at the same time, but only the chicken survived because they can fly?
Dinosaurs can fly.
Only pterodactyls, my guy.
That counts as a dinosaur flying.
Man, these tangents during random generator topics segment, incredible. I love it so much.
Yes,
We can just be random.
Oh yeah, we can. I love it. And to follow up on your follow-up from Wikipedia, the site I just absolutely can't stand.
Okay.
I Googled America's oldest companies as well. And I got from the Business News Daily.
Yeah.
Caswell Massey.
Okay.
Created in 1752. It's a perfume and soap company.
Okay.
That was started as an apothecary shop in Newport, Rhode Island.
Interesting. We're learning so much about business America. It's crazy.
Interesting. George Washington gave a bottle of cologne number 6 to the Marquis de Lafayette.
Okay.
And Lewis and Clark took its products on their cross-country trek. Today, Caswell Macy is owned by a private investment group and is based in New Jersey with a store in New York.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Okay, cool. Now, it said Clark. Austin. Tonight is the premiere of the 100. We're going to end this podcast with asking you a follow-up to last week's podcast. Are you caught up with the 100 to be worthy of watching the final season?
No.
Wow. Okay. Guys, we're going to have to end this podcast here because I have to rip Austin's ass. Okay, I'm going to fly to Florida. Okay? I know where you live now because we were on Google Maps earlier.
For like 45 minutes.
Yeah. By the way, speaking about that, just completely one-off question to everybody listening. Would you guys be interested in Austin and I just bullshitting around on Google Maps for like a show? You'd be surprised how entertaining it was.
It was interesting, guys.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why I went on Maps, but I did. And we were on Maps for about half an hour, 45 minutes, when we should have been making this podcast.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. It was a pretty good time on Google Maps. If you guys, I don't know if we're going to do it or not, but if you guys get the chance, just sit on Google Maps for like 15 minutes, and you'll probably spend an hour on it. Just Street View, dude, guys, it's crazy. I honestly have no words because it's that crazy. It's that fun. Just do it. Man. So what do you think, Austin?
I think that's a podcast.
I think that is a podcast. Awkward silence. So, we had some great topics today.
We had some awkward silence today.
Yeah, a little bit. Thanks to Austin.
Hey.
More awkward silence.
That's your fault.
Wow, Austin.
That's your fault.
This is not... Is it my fault? Okay. Guys, we're going to end the podcast. Make sure you guys go to altonpodcast.com to get all of the streaming platforms and social media. Again, 5 likes if we make an Instagram count, and 25 likes, Austin will go buy the Walmart tablet, and he will review it, and we will follow up with you guys in a little while on that. So, there's your guys' goals. Also, you guys can, comment in the comments, obviously. Let us know what you guys thought about today's show. And, we'll see you guys in the next podcast.